What's up, everybody? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm excited to talk to you today about decimal understanding. I know sometimes math instruction can be long. It can be somewhat boring. That hurt. Why would you say that? This one should be fast. This is a pretty quick concept that I'm going to teach you, and then hopefully we can get through it in a super short amounts of time. I got to ask you this really deep question. Can February March? No, but April, May. February, March, April, May. Like April, May be able to March. Okay, I'll give you that one. It's not that great, but it's better than whatever you were going to say. All right, so what are you going to be able to do today? You're going to be able to represent and determine equivalency between decimals and percents. Okay, decimals and percents. That's the big move. Can I go from a decimal to a percent? Okay, little vocab first. A decimal point. What is that? It's that little fella. Okay, so when you see whole numbers like, 27 or 18, they don't have decimals written in them. But sometimes you have something that does have a decimal, and it's that little guy right there. If you can see it on the screen, I just put some red dots on there. That's the decimal point. Okay, and it's used to separate the whole from the part. So everything over here is wholes. 17 whole pizzas. There we go with the pizzas again. 17 whole cars, 17 whole classrooms, 17 whole days, okay? Everything over here, this is really important. If you understand this, it really makes you understand fractions, decimals, and percents better. Everything over there is somewhere between 0 and 1. Okay, it's not, even though these numbers, like 591, that seems like it's going to be bigger than 1. No, 591 is somewhere on a number line between 0 and 1. So these are all the wholes. This is part of 1. Okay, and the decimal point is the divider. Next up, we have, if you understand that, now we got to get to a place value chart. Okay, so go back to that decimal point. It's right here. I think it's real important that you understand the names of these. And you can remember back to, I could think third grade is when you start, or maybe even second grade, you start working on the place value chart. So my place value chart right there here says units, okay? And so what I don't really like it that way, so I'm just going to say it's ones, okay? So if I have 7 here, I have 7 ones, okay? So it's just 7 total. This next place over here is tens. So if I put a 3 here, that means I have 3 tens and I have 7 ones for a total of 37. Okay? And so forth and so forth. So I think you guys remember that whole side. It goes all the way and just keeps going. The next thing over would be 10,000s and then 100,000s and then millions and then 10 millions and then 100 millions and then. But then we get to the other side over here. And these are all, like I just said, these are all going to be part of 1. Okay, and so it's the same wording as over here. All right, so you see tens, hundreds, thousands, 100,000s, except you don't have 1 over here. Why don't you have 1? Because everything over there is smaller than 1. And you'll also notice one little change in the wording. Okay, one little change in the wording, and that is every one of these has the TH on the end. Tenths. It's kind of hard to say. Hundredths. Thousandth, okay, 10,000ths, 100,000ths, okay, and if you could say those, because when you're thinking about a fraction, all you're saying is, if I have a fraction, and it's 3 over 100, it is 3 100ths, okay, it would be 3, I'm sorry, I did this thousandths the whole time, that was just kind of crazy. I would say that it would represent 3 100ths, okay, so we'd look on a place value chart, and we'd say, I have 3, here's my hundredths, so I have 3 of those. And since there's nothing here, I got to fill it in with a 0. I don't have to do anything afterward, but that's kind of how a place value chart works, okay? Let's review something. What does a percent mean? It means something out of 100. If you haven't seen my percent video, go see it. So it means something out of 100 or something per 100, okay? So every percent means there's 100 on the bottom of this fraction, and if I said 11 was right here, that is equal to 11%, because it's 11 out of 100. If this number on the bottom is not 100, it does not work that way. Okay, you got to get it to 100. Next up, let's erase all that. All fractions, decimals, and percents can be interchanged between each other. So every percent you have can be written as a fraction and a decimal. Every decimal you have can be written as a fraction and a percent, and so on and so on and so forth. Okay, so let's just make sure we know how to divide by 100. Okay, so if I have 753, because this is going to help us in a second. If I have 753 and I divide it by 100, so if I do this whole long mumbo jumbo here, and I say I have 753 and I divide by 100, okay? If I divide by, what in the world? If I divide 753 by 100, okay? How many times will 100 go into 7? It won't. How many times will 7 go into 53? It won't. Or 75, how many times will 7 go into 753? Okay, it goes into it 7 times. Okay, so 7 times 100 is 700. And we subtract and we get 53. All right, but we're not done. We got to put a decimal back here and put a 0. So that means we got to put a decimal and put it, well, I didn't mean to put that 0 there. And we say, how many times will a 100 go into 530? Because I just brought that 0 down. How many times will 100 go into 530? You guessed it. It will go into it. Let me erase this thing real quick. It will go into it 5 times. So we put a 5 up here, and 5 times 100 is 500. We subtract and we get 30. I'm still not done. Let's add another 0 and bring it down. How many times will 100 go into 300? Well, it goes into it 3 times. So 3 times 100 is 300. And now we're done. So our answer was 7.53. Okay. Do you want to do that every time you divide by 100? I would say no. But what you noticed is all we did, 753, and the answer is 7.53. All we did was move the decimal 2 places to the left. And why would it be 2 places to the left? Well, when we go back to that place value chart, okay, if we go back to that place value chart, there's a pattern here. Everything going in this direction, this is 10 times, tens is 10 times bigger than 1. 100 is 10 times bigger than 10. 1,000 is 10 times bigger than 100. And it goes the other direction, it's 10 times smaller, 10 times smaller, 10 times smaller. So if we want to go 10 times smaller, we just move the decimal 1 spot. But when we're dividing by 100, we want to go 100 times smaller, which is 10 times 10 is 100. So we move it 2 spots. So let's go back and look at that. All we did is we took 753. If you don't see the decimal, it's at the end. And you divide by 100, which means you're making it 2 to the left. So it's 7.53. Dividing by anything, 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, so you just got to move it the appropriate amount of spaces. So we have 75.3 divided by 100. Well, we just got to move it 2 places to the left because we're dividing, making it smaller. So our answer is 0.753. And now we have 0.753 divided by 100. Well, divided means making it smaller. Move it to the left. So our decimal is now there. We fill in any empty gaps with that. You see how that works? So when you know that, now it's real easy, all right, to turn these percents into decimals, okay? Because a percent, remember, what is a percent? It is, so 36% is 36 over 100, right? 36 over 100. So 36 over 100, anything over 100 is represented as a percent. But if we want to represent it as its true value, which means we're going to turn it back into what it really represents, we have to 36 divided by, that's what fraction bar represents, 36 divided by 100. So we take 36, let me go ahead and erase this, and we just know that every time you see a percent, you're dividing by 100. What is 36 divided by 100? Well, it's 36, here's a decimal, divided by 100 equals 0.36. What's 82%? Well, we've got it's 82 over 100, so we're going to divide by 100, 82, here's a decimal, divided by 100, it's 0.82. This and this represent the same thing. It's the same value. Remember, percents, decimals, they all work together. Now we got 7%, okay? Now we got 7%. So we got, whoops, let me go back. Okay, so now we have, we have 7%. Okay, so that's 7 out of 100. Where's the decimal? It's here at the end. We're going to divide it by 100. 1, 2. Decimal goes there. Add a 0 there. So now that equals 0.07. 125%. Where's the decimal? It's at the end. Move it 2 to the left because we're dividing by 100. So it's 1.25. 1,375%. Goodness gracious. It's still just over 100, right? So we move the decimal 2 to the left and we equal 13.75. This and this represent the same thing. This and this represent the same thing, which means they are what? They are equivalent. Okay? And if we do it that way, if we turn decimals into percents, it's just the opposite way around, right? Now we have decimals, And to get to decimals, we divided by 100. So to get from decimals back to percents, we're going to multiply by 100, which guess what? We're just going to move the decimal 2 dots the other direction, 2 spots the other direction. So 0.37, if I want to turn it into a percent, 1, 2, it equals 37. Okay? Now, it may seem weird to you. Like, why would we just multiply it by 100? So let's go back and answer that question real quick. What is 0.37? If we look at that place value chart, how would we write that down? Okay? So this is the 3 is in the 10th spot, and the 7 is in the 100th spot, remember? So we would say it's 37 hundredths, or 37 hundredths. And anytime you get something over 100, it equals 37. It equals to the percent. All right, so this was all we had to do was move it 2 over, and we got 37. So that's kind of the quick trick. If we got this number, we want to turn it into percent, move it 2 over. So it's 243%. Okay? 0.67 as a percent, move it 2 to the right, 67%. 6.004 as a percent, that's right, move it 2 to the right, 604%. 1 written as a percent, well, that's weird. Where's the decimal? It's at the end. 1, 2. 1 is the same thing as 100%. I told you guys you were going to kill it. I told you. I said it. I said it at the beginning. You weren't listening. Do you guys have any idea where sheep get their haircut? It's at the barber shop. Barber shop. See what I did there? It's like a play on words. You better understand how funny that is. The barber shop. Say it to you. Right? Nice and loud. Say it in front of all your friends. Barber shop. I'm about to get a haircut.